Picture this. You're 24 years old, first real job, first real paycheck. And you decide, okay, I'm going to be smart about this. So you do everything right. You said no to the trip, you said no to the concert, you set up the savings account, you started the 401k. 5 years go by. You check your balance. $12,000. That's it? After 5 years of real sacrifice? $12,000? So you push harder. You stay consistent. Year 10 comes around. You hit it. $100,000. And you feel proud. You should. But then you do the math. $1 million is 10 times what you just saved. At this rate, that's another 100 years. Right. But here's the thing. Someone who started just a few years before you, same income, nothing special, just crossed $1 million in 3 years. Same economy, same stock market, nothing illegal. And you're sitting there thinking, what do they know that I don't? That's exactly what today's about. My name's Ricky, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money actually works. Not the motivational version, the real mechanics. If you're someone who feels like you're doing everything right, but your account doesn't agree with that, subscribe. This channel exists for exactly you. All right, let's get into it. So most people believe this. They think building wealth is linear. Save $1, have $1. Save 10, have 10. Every year looks pretty much like the last one. And honestly, that makes sense. That's how most things in life work. You work 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. But money doesn't work that way. And nobody really tells you that up front. Here's how I want you to think about it. Imagine pushing a boulder up a hill every single day, grinding, sweating, and the boulder barely moves. That's the first 100,000. But what most people don't know is there's a crest at the top of that hill. And once you reach it, the boulder starts moving on its own. That's not a motivational metaphor. That's literally just math. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Okay, let's look at the actual numbers. Say you're investing $500 a month, consistent, every month, and you're getting a 7% annual return after inflation. I use the conservative number on purpose. It's more honest, and it protects you from building a plan around numbers that don't hold up in real life. Year 1. You've put in $6,000. Your account is worth about $6,200. The market added roughly $200. $200. That's what compounding gave you in year 1. Doesn't feel like much. Year 5, you've contributed $30,000. Your account sits around $36,000. The market added about $6,000. Still feels slow. Year 10, you've put in $60,000. Your account is now around $87,000, and the market added $27,000 that decade. You're almost there. Year 12 or 13, you cross $100,000. And now something shifts. Now the market is adding more per year than you are contributing. Read that again. Your money is putting in more than you are. That's the crossover point. Before it, you are the engine. Every dollar of growth comes from your hustle, your discipline, your sacrifice. After it, you've got a partner working alongside you. And that partner never sleeps, never calls in sick, never asks for a raise. That's why the first 100,000 is the hardest. Not because you're doing anything wrong, because compounding hasn't fully woken up yet. Now, here's why this matters so much. Most people quit in year 3, sometimes year 4. They look at their balance, they see $9,000. They think, this is pointless. I've been grinding for years and I have nothing to show for it. So they stop, or they slow down, or they touch the money, and they don't realize they were 3 feet from gold. Let me tell you about someone I know. We'll call him Marcus. Marcus started investing at 22, $300 a month. Nothing crazy. By 26, he had about $15,000 saved. And he pulled it out. Car broke down. Felt like a reasonable reason. He told himself he'd start over later. He's 38 now. He never restarted. And recently, we sat down and he did the math on what that $15,000 would be worth today if he left it alone. Over $90,000. He didn't lose $15,000. He lost $90,000. That's what quitting costs. Not the amount you pull out, the amount you were about to grow into. Marcus isn't irresponsible. He's actually really smart. He just didn't know about the crossover point. He quit right before the boulder reached the top of the hill. And look, I've seen a lot of Marcuses. Smart people, disciplined people, who just didn't know the one thing that changes everything. So at this point, you're probably thinking, all right, Ricky, I just need to invest more money faster. Get to 100,000 quicker. Simple. Stop right there. Because that's the logical conclusion. And it's not wrong, but it's missing the most important piece. Here's what most finance content never talks about. The math is not your biggest obstacle. Your brain is. There's a concept called hyperbolic discounting, which is just a fancy way of saying humans are terrible at valuing future rewards. Like if I offered you $100 today or $150 in 6 months, most people take the 100 today, even though waiting is obviously the smarter decision. And this isn't stupidity. This is literally how we're wired. We evolved to handle immediate threats, not to think about index fund returns in 30 years. So when you're in year 2 with $9,000 saved and your friend just got a new car and your apartment feels small, your brain starts screaming, "What is the point of this?" And that voice is loud and it's persistent and it sounds completely reasonable. Here's the counterintuitive part though. The people who build real wealth fastest don't have more willpower than you. They build systems that make the right choice automatic. Auto-pay investing, employer contributions, accounts that are slightly annoying to get into. They remove the moment of choice entirely. Because every time you have to actively decide to invest, you're gambling with your own psychology. Some days you feel motivated. Some days you don't. The system doesn't care how you feel. It just runs. Discipline is unreliable. Systems are not. That's the real secret. Not a hot stock tip, not a special account type, just removing yourself from the equation entirely. All right, let's talk about what to actually do. Step 1. Pick your first real target and make it $25,000. Not $1 million, not even $100,000. $25,000. Because $25,000 invested at 7% is nearly $2,000 per year in growth without you adding a single dollar. That's your first real taste of money working for you. And when you see a number in your account that you didn't put there, something shifts in how you think about all of this. So start there. Get that feeling. Step 2. Automate it before you can touch it. Set up automatic contributions the same day your paycheck arrives, not 2 days later, same day. Because if that money sits in your checking account for 48 hours, it has a way of finding somewhere to go. We all know that feeling. And while you're setting that up, if your employer offers a 401k match and you're not taking the full match, fix that first, today, before anything else. That is a 100% return on your money before the market does a single thing. There is no investment on earth that beats 100% immediate return. Take it every time. Step 3. Every time your income increases, increase your contribution. Not all of it, half of it. You still get a lifestyle upgrade, but half of that raise starts compounding immediately. Most people give their entire raise to their lifestyle and invest nothing extra. You're going to do it differently. Do that 3 or 4 times over a decade, and the math gets very interesting very fast. Step 4. Leave it alone. I know, sounds obvious. It is not easy. When the market drops 20%, and it will, multiple times in your life, your account is going to look terrifying. Every instinct you have will say sell, get out, protect yourself. Don't.
A market drop is not a loss. It's a sale. The people who panic and sell lock in that loss permanently. The people who stay in or keep contributing are buying more shares at a discount. I personally check my investment accounts once a quarter at most, because the more you look, the more emotional you get. And emotions and investing are a genuinely dangerous combination. Before the recap, I want to say one thing. High income does not equal wealth. I know people earning $200,000 a year who are broke, not because they're irresponsible, because lifestyle inflation ate everything the moment the money arrived. The number that matters is not what you earn, it's what you keep and then invest. A person making $60,000 and investing 15% will outperform a person making $150,000 and investing nothing. Every single time, no exceptions. Income is just raw material. What you do with it is the whole game. All right, let's bring it home. 1. The first 100,000 is the hardest because you are the engine. Compounding hasn't kicked in yet. That's normal. That's not failure. 2. There is a crossover point where your money starts contributing more than you do. That's when everything accelerates. 3. Your psychology is the real obstacle, not the math. Build systems that run automatically so your brain never gets a vote. 4. Automate on payday. Take every employer match. Raise your contribution every time your income rises. 5. Leave it alone, especially when it scares you. And the one truth that runs underneath all of this? Wealth is built in not dramatic moments. It's built in boring, consistent, unsexy years where nothing feels like it's working. Right until it does. Here's what I want you to do after this video. Pick one account, just one. Set up an automatic contribution, even if it's $50 a month, even if that number feels embarrassingly small. Do it today, not this week, today. Because the person who invests $50 today will outperform the person who plans to invest $500 next month. Starting is the whole game. And then come back in 30 days and drop a comment. Tell me what happened. Did you set it up? Did life get in the way? I genuinely read those. Because this stuff works. It just works slowly at first. And slow is fine. Slow is how the boulder gets to the top of the hill. Thanks for watching.